All right, it is 11:54 a.m. And as always on your boy JDQ's channel, I do a pre-interview warm-up just to get things a little bit like set up on my end. I have already previously sent today's guest the link for today's interview. That way she can get on here when she's ready. And of course, once I introduce her formally, which I always try to do with all my guests, right off the back, what up, Becca Lynn? Yes, hand to God, you are here. I see you. I see you. And as always, the very extremely resourceful Appleby has put up some links on the chat area for you guys to go check out. I highly, highly, highly suggest and recommend, if you want to be more well informed about these topics, please go check those links out. Appleby is very resourceful, very informed on all this matter of, child trafficking, child abuse, sexual abuse. He's like the go-to guy if you want to go more in depth about this topic. So definitely go check those links out. He's been a supporter since one of like the day one supporters, I guess. And he's really great to talk to. If you find him on Instagram or any other platforms, he's really a great guy to talk to. And like I said earlier, very resourceful. Camille, what's going on? Yeah, Becca Lynn, yes, I do see you and know that you're here. Everybody who is just now getting on, I want to give you a big cybernetic hug, big bear hug from me to you. Nothing like Barney, that's kind of weird, but just a very I enjoy the fact that you have taken out of your time to be here. So I guess that's why I'm very grateful and thankful, and hence for the whole cybernetic hug thing going on there. But yeah, you guys, whether it be that you're a supporter of the channel or not, or you're new to the channel, or you're new to my streams or whatever, I highly do appreciate every single one of you. The fact that you have taken out of your day to even give my channel and my stream a chance means a lot to me. It is a big help to me because obviously I'm trying to get things, get the ball rolling on this channel. Elbow bump. Wait, let me show my face because I know how things go around here. So let me just show my face real quick. So a couple of things that I need to say before we get into it, okay? I have this bottle, okay? It's water with Mio B vitamins flavor into it, okay? Appleby says, sorry for the hiatus. Wife is here from PR now. Oh, nice. So we've been salsa dancing the days away. Good to see you still keeping them on. Yeah, man. Hey, Appleby, you don't need to be sorry, bro. Like I was wondering, and I was gonna like text you a few times to see like, hopefully you were still alive and all that good stuff. But but I figured it was something like good that was going on. So I'm happy for you, bro. I'm happy that you got to dance the days away and the nights away. That's good, bro. That's always needed in the relationship. So I'm happy for you, brother. Jenny T, what's going on? Jackie Gionette. Yeah. You're not, look, I'll be completely honest and hand to God with every one of y'all, okay? When you come to these streams, all right, you're not only supporting me, you're supporting the people that I'm interviewing and having on as guests, or whether it be a predator poacher, a predator catcher, a pedophile hunter, a former victim now / survivor. I prefer the term survivor, so we'll just go with that. You're supporting every one of those people. As far as me, yeah, you're supporting me, but you're more so supporting them because they're the ones who are going to tell their story. They're the ones who are going to bring information to the table. They're the ones who are going to give you a backstory and give you an informed view and perspective of how things look and feel from, their end. So for sure, we got Anwar Keep Spotlight in the house, which by the way, again, If you have not checked out his merchandise, all right, he's got a link in the bio area and Instagram, which takes you to the Teespring website, which has a whole list of merchandise with the pictures on them, showing you hoodies, t-shirts, masks, all that good stuff. So if you want some of FM's / NY Creep Spotlight merchandise, go ahead and check it out. For sure. I seen the Puerto Rican stuff, bro. It was nice. It was nice. I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking about getting the long mask. That way, when I go to PR, and hopefully by that point in time, I'm already stepped up my catching game. I can go over and catch some predators over there. So that'd be nice. Becca Lynn says, so follow the motto, what would Becca do, and keep your mouths respectful. Camille says, I'm glad I didn't miss because I meant it when I said I'd be there. My word matters. I appreciate that, Camille. It does mean a lot to me and, of course, the guests that will be on here soon. X, what's going on? Yeah. Appleby, go ahead and check out that merch, man. It's nice. And, of course, like I said earlier on the Instagram Live that I made, it's for a good cause. You know, everybody likes to say, oh, y'all after money, blah, blah, blah. No, let me tell you something. It takes a lot of time and effort to make these catches a possible thing. And of course, most of us have full-time or part-time jobs, which don't allow us to do these catches as often as we should or could. And so, of course, the merchandise and membership programs just help us kind of like be able to do a little more than what we usually would. Yeah, Appleby, yeah, man, go ahead and drop the Discord, man. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sorry that listen, if people only knew, okay, I wish I was on everybody's stream all the time. I wish I was on Alex's stream. I wish I was on FM's streams. I wish I was on Predator Poachers Texas streams, Jay from PP Mass. If I could be on everybody's stream all the time, man, I would. Like, hand to God, I would, man. But things are not as free for all as it once was once this whole COVID thing started, where I had a lot of free time on my hands and was all over the place. Now it's like I held back a lot because I have a lot of things going on at the same time. But go ahead and drop that Discord link, bro. Yeah. Apple Crow, appreciate that. Yep. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, real quick on the socks. Okay, so I'm gonna get into it in a second, but I was dying laughing, but in a good way, like not in a mocking way, like in a good way. When I seen that FM also had socks, that boy had crew socks with the logo on them. I was like, yo, this man has done it. That's what I'm talking about. Because I'm not saying I'm a sock collector, but I know people who are. And I know once they know what FM is up to and what what he does, they're gonna be all over it. Like, yo, I want some socks. I need limited edition socks off of all these guys, especially FM. So FM, bro, if you can throw some limited edition versions of those crew socks, bro, I'm gonna snag them. I'm gonna cop them like right away, man. Listen, because I know people. I know the aftermarket, baby, the aftermarket. But anyways, all right. Now on a serious matter, okay, it is 12:03 p.m. Of course, if you're stepping into the stream right now, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Share this stream with your friends, neighbors, family members, coworkers, whoever you believe will benefit from listening to these stories that have to do with people who have gone through abuse and all this other stuff, but that nowadays, of course, not only are they living well and doing their thing, they're actually living for a purpose. All right. So, I haven't said who's coming on yet. Okay. All right. So I have my guests already ready on this side. Let me just ask and double check. Hold on. Okay. I'm confirming on this side whenever she's ready. So I'm gonna introduce her when I have her on here. But yeah, she's someone very near and dear to Predator Poachers as a whole, I guess. in general because she, for lack of a better term, she's extremely close to one of the predator poachers themselves. So, all right, so hold on. So most of you already know who it is. Some of you don't, which is I think it's a good thing because I kind of sort of wanted to be like a little bit surprised, but I think the word did get out, so a lot of people do know who it is. Jackie says she's the best person ever. That is true. She's very easy to talk to. She's a very cool person. She gives off a very young vibe. So I've talked to her here and there because she does give a lot of pointers and a lot of like advice when it comes to like catching the preds and all that. So someone who I do respect a lot, and I know who has a lot to say and a lot to share with us, and a lot of information that we can learn from as we listen to her tell a story. So let me just make sure. All right, I think she is ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on. All right. Now we got two. Okay, I'll say it's this one. Okay, hold on. All right. So, without a shadow of a doubt, all right, I think she's ready because, I think she sent something that kind of like gave me the green light that she's ready. Without a shadow of a doubt, and without further ado, we got Miss Julie Harmon on the screen. Everybody say what's up to Julie in the chat area. Give her some love, as we always do with every single one of my guests. Show them some love and respect. All right. And of course, as always, before we get into it, please, always use the golden rule as a rule of thumb, meaning don't say anything that you wouldn't want anyone to say to you. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Be respectful. Try to put yourself in her shoes at this point in time. And of course, think of her as, I don't know. I mean, I hope she don't take this the wrong way, but kind of like look at her as you would your mom. Like you wouldn't say F you to your mom or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So just keep the respect in the chat area. Julie, what's going on? What's going on? What's up?
Hi. I was like, I don't know whether to really be offended or not.
Listen, you got a whole lot of love in the chat area, okay? You got Jackie Gionette saying you look beautiful.
Thank you.
And I know you were worried about, you know what I'm saying, like the whole visual. I'm like, if she only knew, she looked great as is, but I'm not gonna say nothing because I'm not gonna like mess the vibe up. I just let you say what you said earlier, but I was like, yo, you don't need any of that. You look fine just the way you are. But we like to doll ourselves up when we're in front of the screen, in front of people. So
I literally only did my hair and put a little bit of foundation on. I was like,
but you look like a little girl. Like, hold on, let me rephrase that. You look like a young person. There we go, like a young person.
I'm glad you rephrased that.
There you go. X said it for me. She said JDQ doesn't want to sound like a creeper, but I'll say Julie looks nice. Yes, thank you, X. I appreciate that. All right, so Ms. Julie, we have known each other for a few months now. We've chatted here and there every now and then through Instagram, the DMs. And I think we've video chatted like maybe like once or twice before this interview. And while you have told me kind of like more or less your backstory, we've never had the chance to like really go thoroughly through it and you tell me like the whole thing, and pretty much give me the ins and outs of where you come from, what happened to you, and who you are nowadays, which we're gonna talk about later on. But before we get to that, though, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Pretty much like the family that you come from, like how was your upbringing, the household that you grew out of, your surroundings, your neighborhood. I don't know, just little things here and there that allow us to get to know you on a personal level, if you will.
Okay. So let's see. My mom and my dad separated. God, there's seven. There's seven of us. But my mom and my dad separated after my fourth brother, and then I guess ended up hooking back up, and they had my fifth brother. But they've been separated because my dad was used to be abusive. Um, so like I've seen him like physically pick her up by her throat and hold her up against the wall. Um, so I mean, I grew up, basically just my mom, and my brothers, obviously.
Julie, do me a small favor. I can hear you, but I think in general, I think the chat might not be able to hear you as well as I can. So I
Okay.
don't know if you can get a little closer to the phone or like let's see, let's
Can you
check
hear
that
me
out
better
again.
now?
Try one more time.
How about now?
It's a little better. As long as the
Okay.
chat tells me and lets me know that they can hear, then I'm fine. I'm fine because I can hear you. But like I
Okay.
know sometimes like technical difficulties like make it to where the chat area can't hear you as well. So
Yep.
just making sure. All right, go ahead. Keep telling.
So yeah, so I grew up with just my mom and my brothers basically protecting me. So I started hanging out with a bunch of like guy friends. I was more of one of the guys as opposed to hanging out with girls. I just realistically I never trusted females.
That happens with a lot
Um
of females. Let me tell you, that's the way my mom's is, and that's the way my girlfriend is. So I feel you.
yep. I guess like when I was 14, I started to like just do stupid shit to defy my mom, like smoking cigarettes. Um, I started smoking weed back then. Um, but then like I've done coke and drank or whatever. When I turned 16, my doctor found a cancerous lump in my back and said I had degenerative disc disease. So he put me on pain medication a lot. I was on 175 milligrams of the fentanyl patches. I was getting 90, 80 milligram Oxycontin and
Mm.
120 of the 10 milligram Percocet every month without fail. So I obviously grew an addiction from that. In that time frame, I had been in abusive relationships. Um, I guess I like started like continuing doing more coke, I guess. Um, to the point that I mean, I was so addicted to my medication that I would have to sniff 680 milligram Oxycontin just to get out of bed. Um, so that was bad. But I don't know. So I basically took off from there. Like, um, not really many relationships. They were long. I guess I was looking for the security, of being in a relationship. Um,
Hey, Julie.
yeah,
I am sorry to interrupt you again. I really am. I hate interrupting
you're fine.
people, especially in your case, because we're all interested in hearing what you're saying. I got like three people in the chat area letting me know that they still can't hear you. Some of them
Let me
can,
see if
but
I
some of them
take
are saying
my
they can't hear you.
Bluetooth out.
We'll see if this
I think that's a lot better. It's a
is
lot
it.
better.
Okay, it was just
Yeah,
my Bluetooth. That's all.
there you go. Yep.
Um,
Go ahead. Yep.
what was I? Yeah, so I was doing quite a bit of my pain medication. I told my doctor I was getting an addiction, and he left me continue to take the pain medication, but also gave me methadone, the pills to take home. So I was doing those. Um, And my daughters actually in 2007, I believe it was, they were removed from my care because my addiction was getting really bad. My doctor actually got arrested for, he was going to Boston, I guess, and trading prescriptions. for a crack and stuff. So they did more tests on me to see if I actually had these things wrong with me. I did, but it was still a heavy amount of medication to be on. So I went through different doctors, trying to find somebody that would get to know me enough that was going to do a thorough job of checking me out and not just handing me a prescription. So within 7 months, I got custody of my girls back. The judge had told me that I was the only woman in his 37 years of being a judge that has come in and did what I needed to do in such a short amount of time to get my kids back. That was like huge to get my kids back. So I ended up getting my girls back. We got into a place. I entered into another abusive relationship that I didn't realize was abusive. First it was just verbal and whatever, but it started getting a little out of, relationships with a narcissist. But I ended up picking back up and using until I think 2013. I was arrested, and jail literally saved my life. I was only there for a month, but it was enough. But now I've been clean for 7 years. Like I went through hell in my addiction between getting raped at parties. And one of my boyfriends in my active youth raped me. Just, a lot of shit. But it's like thinking now, like, how weird it is that I'm able to survive being clean from shooting up heroin and coke with even Mountain Dew just so I had something to mix it. It's just huge. Absolutely huge. Like, I'm in an apartment with my boys and just trying to get my life to continue to stay on the same path. But, I'm looking into substance abuse counseling, like to be a substance abuse therapist. So that is the goal.
Well, let me say this, and I'm gonna say this so that you can kind of like breathe a little, because I know talking about this part of your story is heavy. So I'm gonna say this so that you can kind of like gather like air again and breathe a little bit. But in no way, shape, or form am I going to try to assimilate what you just told us right now, because there's no way of comparing one thing to another. There may be similar situations or scenarios, but it's every situation is unique. And of course, in your case, like losing and then getting your children again, that's that's a whole different story altogether right there. But I'm gonna tell you this, and I don't like talking about this too much myself because it's also a very delicate matter. And I probably won't talk about this again after today because, like I said, it's a very delicate matter and it's not something that I like sharing a lot. But my mother, okay, those who know my mother know that she's a very strong woman of God, and she always did everything for my siblings and me to help us like move forward. And she was like a mom, you know what I mean? Like the way that I feel like you are with your children, she's like a mom. And when she was younger, she went through some accidents that messed up her nervous system. And her nervous system got so messed up that it eventually caused her to get like a really severe migraines, right? Fast forward, she started getting prescribed certain drug that I'm not gonna say right now, because I don't like hearing the name. But she got prescribed that drug, and slowly but surely got addicted to it. Had to check herself into a detox center like twice, um,
Right.
just because it got to the point where she saw me crying because I was sent out, whether it be to the pharmacy or somewhere else to get her medication, and I kept asking her like, up until when are you gonna have to like keep taking these? You know what I'm saying? Because as a
Yeah.
child, you see your parents going through something like that, and you know that they're better than that. It's like it's sometimes the parents need to see it, need to see their child kind of like in that moment as a motivational catapult to be like, you know, my kid's right. Like you know, I shouldn't be having to depend on these. I shouldn't have to, you know, there's other ways that I can uh, live without having to depend on this medicine, on these pills. And
Right.
thankfully nowadays, I think it's been what more than 10 years since last time she even took one of those pills. So, you know, she's come a long way. And although she didn't lose us, thankfully, in a way she kind of did for a while because she got very distant with us and within the household because
Exactly.
the addiction to that pill.
Yep.
So you know, in a way I kind of feel like from the other end, you know what I'm saying, what your kids
Right.
might have gone through, seeing their mom go through all that. So but yeah, go ahead, keep telling the story, Julie.
Um, so like, and when I was in high school, this is why like I'm so devoted to helping Jay and FM and stuff. Because when I was in high school, I was like about to get into ninth grade. I stayed after school and to do something for one of the teachers. And I was in the cafeteria, and I'll never forget these two boys, Odie and Eddie. They held me down in the cafeteria and like tried to force me to give them more. So it's like, I mean, and they were high school. The older brother wasn't. He was there to pick up his younger brother. And, so it's like so disgusting, you know. Um, and then when I was in ninth grade, I was in the hallway switching classes, and this kid shoved me up against the wall and put his fingers in my pants. So, you know, I started to tell about it, talk to a victim witness advocate, was going to go to court, and every day I was shit on in the bathroom by his girlfriend because she was pregnant and was like, you know, how do you feel about taking and putting my baby's father in jail because you can't keep your mouth shut? Like, it was a lot emotional. I didn't want to be the reason somebody was without their father, honestly. So I kind of let it go and I quit school. Um, I still hung out with the people at school, um, going to parties and stuff like that. And, um, but those were like two of the very big moments, like being sexually assaulted, that I can literally remember every detail. Um, I was raped by three guys at a party. Um, and like most of those memories of that, I purposely block them out. So I'm like working with my therapist to get through that now. Um, but it's like these kids don't really want to talk. They don't have the voice that people say they have, or you know, everybody's listening. It's they say they want to be there for them, and they do, but there's only so much we can do to speak up on, you know, and it's scary, it's embarrassing, you know. So it is a lot, definitely a lot. My best friend, she was molested by her uncle, um, from the time she was 9 to the time she was 13. So it's like huge to me to continue and support these guys. They're doing absolutely amazing.
Now, when you were obviously after you went through all that, um, did you like have or feel that you needed to get some kind of like um, counseling or some kind of like emotional like support? Did you have to like go to like a therapy for any of this, or did you just manage on your own? Like how did you get through it?
Yes, I actually did do therapy. I've been in therapy, God, since I was probably like I think 13 or 14. Um, Originally it was family counseling, but then it, went on to like me being able to actually talk to this therapist about what happened with Eddie and Obi. Um, so, and then high school, when that happened in ninth grade, I didn't really, after I talked to the victim witness advocate and dropped the case, I just let it go. I didn't even discuss it.
Wow. What about as far as like family goes? Like um, did you find any like support within like your family, people that you can talk to
Oh, yeah.
about any of that? Did you find someone like that actually had advice and it helped you like push through those times within your family, or
I mean, my mom, she's literally my rock, but she didn't really have much advice except for to tell me not to give up, just to keep talking about it, keep getting it out. And, she allowed me to have the time to be angry and embarrassed. And that was huge. That was very important for me because I was so embarrassed. I thought it was my fault. Um, you go through so many emotions with that. It's just tough. It's not easy to sit and look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is because that guy was just being an ass or whatever. So it was hard to like really see that it was somebody else's fault other than my own. It took years before I realized that.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And the fact that you said that, I think a lot of people who either have gone through what you've gone through or something similar or are going through what you went through need to hear that. Like, because I know it's I don't know why, but it's like so commonplace for a lot of former victims to think that way. Oh, it's like my fault, it's my fault. And when you really take a moment and like look back and analyze everything, you can clearly see that it's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? It's really not. Like it's a wave of unfortunate events that lead to, what I'm saying, other unfortunate events. But at the end of the day, you're not choosing any of this. You're not choosing like all this negative stuff to happen in your life. It happened along the way. Uh,
Right.
but now, do you have anything that you learned through your process that you think might help someone that is possibly uh, in your shoes at this moment, or uh, potentially might be in your shoes at some point? Is there some words of encouragement or advice coming from someone who has not only overcome all this, but we'll get into it in a minute or two, has become an asset in other areas? You have anything to say to those people who keep
I
blaming
think I
themselves?
would honestly just say, you know, don't stop talking about it. Um, Definitely to know you're not by yourself. Like, most of us sit in silence thinking we're alone. Um, which is why it's great that these guys do all the poaching that they do. And, it ultimately it helps with sex trafficking, and you know what I mean? So I just I can't stress enough to not give up talking. No matter how angry you are, no matter how upset you are, or how much you believe it's your fault, I would just keep talking. And they can always private message me. I'm always here, you know.
Oh no, the I think the community already knows that they can reach out to you whenever and wherever, because you're one of the active members. And when I say member, I mean like an active person within the streams that's always reaching out to people when you see a comment or a message about something along, those lines of like, oh, I'm going through this or whatever. You're one of the first ones to always say, hey, if you need to talk in private about this, like, let me know. I got you. So most of us are aware that you have that natural instinct of wanting to help and wanting to give advice. And I mean, I think everybody in the chat area can agree that you're one of the go-to people when it comes to advice in general about anything, but more so about things that have to do with like, abuse or, for a person like me, like, oh, how do you think I should go about this when I'm about to catch this person or whatever? It's something to do with the whole poaching thing. But yeah, I think what you said about talking about it, like talking about what you're going through is very important, which is, I think, one of the reasons why the whole psychology aspect or area comes in the way it does, of like, you going to somebody neutral and just talking things out. But you can literally do that with anybody. It doesn't have to be a psychologist, specifically. It could be a family member. It could be someone that or you feel that you can like really, really trust or whatever. So that's good. That's good advice right there on by itself. Now, let me ask you this. What is, or let me actually rewind the question a little bit. When was it that you came across this whole like community of different channels that have to do with like poaching the predators and pedophiles and all that? Like, how did you come across like that whole aspect?
Actually, when Jay was doing mass pedo patrol with his cousin, it just happened that he caught my nephew's assistant basketball coach in Pittsburgh.
Interesting.
So yeah, so I've been following Jay and helping him out since.
So there is a connection. This is for the people who have, this is the first time watching you, listening to you. So there is a connection between you and Jay, correct?
Yes, we're just really close. He's basically like my cousin. But yeah, we have been like family for a while. We've been really tight. We talk to each other actually a lot, and sometimes I use him to kind of like vent. him or his wife, like they mean a lot to me. They're really good to me.
And what is, like, if there's something that you can kind of like talk to people who have not come across like Jay's channel or any of these guys, is there something that you can say to the people who are like, watching it from a distance, saying, oh, that looks nice and all, but where does it really go? Like, what does it really help with? For someone like you who has gone through what you've gone through and has a different perspective on things, what would you say to those people? Like, no, it's good because it helps in this way and this way.
I would honestly tell them, to not just watch the live catches. Watch these guys when they're on their regular lives. Like Jay does lives pretty often, just talking. So does FM. It's a way to get to know them and know their intentions. And they're extremely good people. They have their main intention is to keep these kids safe. Yeah, the views are great. But realistically, like they genuinely care about this child, that they're saving. It's just unbelievable, honestly, the drive and the passion that there is, and just blows me away. I mean, sometimes I even have to tell Jay to slow down, take a breather. Like it's okay to take a few days for you. Like just you need it. Like. It's kind of like you have to beg them, to take a break. It's like telling them, no, you can't save a child today. And they're like, yeah, okay, watch me. I'm going to get 3 catches now.
Well, let's not forget. Let's not forget. Jay was off the scene for a few months, I think.
Yep.
And
Over
then
summer.
when he came back, you know what I'm saying? I think we can all agree he came back strong. Like even I
Yes.
messaged him, I was like, "Damn, bro!" Like,
So many
like,
people asked me, like, oh, is Jay done? Is he not coming back? It's like, he'll be back. Don't worry. Like, he needed time for his family, he's
oh
spent
yeah,
so much time with this, and so he was able to have time with his wife and his nieces and stuff like that, like actually get Jay time, pay attention to the real man who's doing all this. So that was really good. And this morning I heard FM saying that he's going to take a few days, and I'm like, yes, like
yeah,
this
definitely.
is what you need this.
Oh yeah,
Like I get it. I definitely do, but I encourage them to take breaks and get to just take a breath. Take a breath for 5 seconds, So
especially for some of them in specific. I think FM. Who else?
what,
There
buddy?
are 2 or 3 of them that because of their background and their backstory, it's important for them to take like breaks. So, I mean,
You gotta turn it down.
I have
Oh,
nothing
it's too
but
loud in here.
this week.
Sorry, my son literally is coming in here with his video.
You good? You good?
It's all right. Come here. Let's go watch your video so I can finish. Okay. Don't run with gum in your mouth, dude.
There goes the mom vibe right there. Don't run with gum in your
Yeah,
mouth.
that's exactly what that is. Like they were home. Noah was still had a little bit of a cough, so I have them both today.
I hope they get better soon. I know that they also been going through some things like health wise. So every now and then I have a piece of paper where I keep like even though the book is really bad and really badly organized, I have like a list of people that I'm like, so.
What exactly?
But
Yeah.
yeah. So let me give you another question. Now,
Okay.
man, it's like raining hard over here now. It's like
It's supposed to
really,
rain here too today. I haven't seen it yet, but you gotta turn that down or I gotta go in the other room, okay?
so when it comes to helping, I don't know, Jay or some of us, would you consider yourself, I guess, like a part-time like decoy, or at least you're what's the word? I don't want to say part-time. You offer yourself sometimes to help out in different areas within the casting aspect. And what would be some of those that you help out the most with? If you have,
I think I probably help the most with like secretary stuff.
got you.
Yeah, I guess it's more like secretary stuff. I help them, get decoys and like chatting with people when they're fishing and that sort of thing.
Nice, nice.
But yeah, I think really it's the secretary stuff, like returning messages off the Facebook page or or I, set up the Facebook page for Jay, get that going.
By the
Just
way,
trying to like manage the page. Haha.
I was gonna say, by the way, something happened a few days ago on the page. I think it was either his page or somebody else's page. I don't know if it got like a post got allowed into the page.
Oh
Which
yes, I was like
talk about that for a second.
a couple of weeks ago. So somebody I guess had posted, one of the viewers on the PP Mass page. She had allowed a post, I guess. It said, so she said she knew who the guy was, and she took screenshots from the video and whatnot. She was usually pretty on point, but we tell them not to put it up until, we have confirmation from the plates, etc. So, but the post had gotten allowed in by one of our mods. It was completely on accident. But so we found out obviously it was not the guy. So, we had to obviously cool that down real fast.
Yeah.
That was pretty heavy. I mean, they thought, Jay was just being an ass and
Yeah.
wrongfully, accusing somebody. And it's like, Jay doesn't just go around and say, oh, it's this guy, he
Yeah.
always waits for the plates. So go knock at the door, buddy. But yeah, so that was like a little hectic to deal with, honestly. That was pretty overwhelming. I trying to control that. I had a migraine for like 2 days.
You're like, no, it
It's
was
like I'm trying to put out the fire, and it was all just very overwhelming.
yeah. And yeah, and someone pointed out, which was I was about to say, Jay didn't even know what was going on until like afterwards, until after I guess it got a little out of hand. And he was like, "What the heck is going on? What?
Oh
What?"
yeah, I mean, I felt bad. The poor guy is like, that's not me, like, So somebody who knew him was like, "There's no way that's him. I know his family. I hope you're sure before you post it or before you ruin his life or whatever." And I'm like, "Listen, nobody's just gonna post something out of random, but apparently they did."
Exactly.
Um, so, I was trying to give the girl who created the post the benefit of the doubt. And, and I told her that I took it down until we had confirmation of the plate. And if it was him, it was going back up. If it was not, there would be repercussions. And I spoke with the girl who created the post a little bit. Once I said we knew for sure it wasn't that guy, she stopped responding.
Nice. Well, at least it got taken care of before it got really, really out of hand. But yeah, it's stuff to watch closely and kind of make sure that all of us in general are on top of things and making sure that no one's posting random things or whatever. Because at the end of the day, it could affect somebody who doesn't need to be affected. So,
Right.
but going back to you, Ms. Julie, yeah, I would like for you to take this moment right now to, in general, uh, for anybody who has gone through, you know what I'm saying, like something similar to what you went through,
Mhm.
or is in it right now, if
Yeah.
you can kind of like picture yourself or imagine yourself sitting down with them like one on one, pretty much like if you were a therapist yourself, basically like if you were a psychologist and you were in the room with another person that was in your shoes or worse, what are some like words of encouragement that you would give them personally, like knowing what you know now and having the strength that you have now, what would you tell them?
I think I would honestly say, continue to fight, it's not just about, being a victim, like it's literally about becoming a survivor and staying a survivor, um, of, and in any aspect at all. Um, so I would say, probably just continue to fight. Like, don't give up. It doesn't matter if it's, from getting into recovery from an addiction or going through any rape or molestation, anything at all. Just picture yourself being a survivor and not a victim. That actually helped me a lot. Especially I think like remembering where I came from, what I went through. that was huge for me to maintain sobriety and to also just be able to know that like I'm not the same person I was. Like I'm still feisty, you know, but I am way more calm. I understand who I am and who I was. I at least now know my worth, so that's huge for me. Like really huge. It's hard for somebody who's been in my position to really ever stop apologizing for things that are not our fault, or to believe that we can, you know, actually have a normal life one day. I'm not saying it doesn't come here and there, you know, whether it's a trigger or whatever, but definitely, definitely, come here. Definitely more about, you know, trying. Okay, well, you just gotta wait till your brother's done. Okay. But yeah, I definitely would say it's more about realizing you can be a survivor, I guess, you know?
Those are all great advice. Like it. I had some of those thoughts already ahead of time, but I'm even more satisfied knowing that you actually, you know what I'm saying, like actually said them out loud, because especially the whole like picturing yourself as a survivor, like ahead of time, that's
Yeah.
like a big thing. Like for me, like listen, I grew up with a lot of, what's the word? Low self-esteem, like a lot of low self-esteem and a lot of things about, oh, I don't like my legs, I don't like the way I look, I don't like this and that. And my grandmother, when I was growing up, she was kind of like my rock. It's the mom of my moms. She would always tell me, how like handsome I was and how good looking I was, and how big and strong I was gonna eventually be, and blah blah blah. And I'm a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like at that time, I was like, yeah, whatever. But the seed was planted, and so the seed that she, you know what I'm saying, like planted in my mind and in my heart as I was growing up, I kind of started saying those things to myself. I started having more confidence in myself as time went off, and then that's when I got into like working out. That's when I got into like playing sports, lifting weights, blah blah blah. And I saw eventually what she was talking about, what she saw, and I couldn't see. Eventually, I saw it come to fruition, and I was like, oh, if it wasn't for her planting the seed of that positive talk, and kind of like seeing yourself as you want to see yourself later on, God knows where I would be right now. I don't even know if I would have liked the gym or anything. I love the gym nowadays, but that's a lot of great advice right there, man. Like I have none to add on to that. That's really good advice.
I think it's huge for somebody. Like it's hard to picture yourself as a survivor ahead of time. So that's why I think it's pretty big for people to do that.
Yep. And you brought up something else, another advice that you said, knowing and remembering where you came from. That's a bigger one. Especially like I said, and I talked about my mom's situation earlier. I think the second time she did the whole detox or whatever, we had like a long time that we were doing like family therapy with her, and that was a big one. It was like, don't, what I'm saying, don't forget like how you felt before you got clean or whatever. Don't forget what we were going through when you were trying to get clean. It was a very depressing time in my household because of it. And, those are things that helped her push through in her situation. So that's like a really big one right there. Like remembering where you came from and how far you've gotten, and there's no benefit from going back to where you came from. So,
Right.
so that's good, man. That's good stuff. I really have none to add to that. So do you think there's going to be any other, I don't know, things that you might be doing within like your actual neighborhood or community at some point, like offering some kind of like guidance counselor type of service or something along those lines to other people who you understand might need that help? Or, you know, what do you?
So already right now I am on a couple of Facebook groups for recovery, not just for somebody who's in active addiction, but their family members. People private message me all the time asking if there's something they could say to their kid or, you know, a family member, trying to help them to get into recovery, what really makes it worth it, and that kind of stuff. So I'm on a couple of pages already where I talk to people. So it's been pretty nice actually being able to help them. And also in the process, it makes me feel good knowing that my recovery has been worth it. It's kind of, you know, helping other people. And that's been big for me. I feel like, you know, it's kind of like the pay it forward thing, you know, somebody helped me to get into recovery and now it's my time.
Exactly, exactly. I didn't even know about all that, the pages that you're in charge of. But now I'm gonna have to look into it and try to share those with some people that I know that actually do need the help. So I'm gonna see if later on today I can like share those pages, or if you can,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're able to put the link up in the chat area or in the DMs afterwards. That way, it's easier for me to share forward. I'll appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll definitely get the pages and write them down and then I'll message them to you so you can, or send you invites to them or anything. So that way you can copy the links too.
Perfect, perfect. That's good to know, and that's good to see you actively working in that area too. Because, like I said earlier, I know you offer yourself for like advice when it comes to like, you know, catching and all this other stuff, but the fact that you allowed your overcoming of your situation be a tool for somebody else and have these other pages, you know what I'm saying, like and pretty much like managing them and helping other people out, that does a lot more for the community. And it's kind of like an extension of yourself, but as a tool, pretty much as a weapon, if you will, of like recovery and like moving forward for other people. So that's good. That's really
Absolutely.
good. So it has been 57 minutes. All right. I do believe we've covered a lot with you, but I want to give a little bit of time for the people watching right now to ask any questions that might not have been answered throughout the interview. So I'm going to give you guys like 5 minutes to conjure up any, I don't like using that word, but pretty much like write or type any questions in the chat area for Julie. That way we make sure we cover all the bases and leave nothing unanswered. Let's see. Yeah, Jackie Gionette says, it's not a question, but she says, recovery, let me just put it up on the screen. Recovery is an everyday job. My dad was an alcoholic. He still went to AA meetings 35 years after he stopped drinking. Yeah, I
That's
agree.
awesome.
And I mean, it's sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes it's like a lifetime thing to where you have to continuously keep yourself like vigilant at all times and keeping yourself within a good group of people. Obviously, try to find support and advice from people that you know have either overcome that same situation or have never had that situation. I think, and the reason why I say that is because sometimes people who haven't gone through the situation have a little bit of clarity as to why it's not good to be in that situation to begin with. So, I mean, either way, it's a win. We got Don. We got Don saying, Jules, thank you so much for sharing your story. You are truly an inspiration for many. Please remind yourself daily, you are strong, you are beautiful, you are worthy. I will keep you in my prayers. That's good looks from Don. Jackie says, one day at a time is for real and it's hard work. Yeah, I agree. And Don Diva got ahead of me because I was going to say, and this is hand to God. This is a hand to God moment. I was gonna say that you really are, and it goes without me saying it, but you really are a very, very inspirational person. Always remember that, out of minerals, come gold, and out of things that like black stones, if you will, diamonds come out of those, So out of dark moments in our lives, if we push through and persevere and overcome these things, we can be a valuable asset to the world around us, and that's your case right there. You came through a very dark times in your young years, and you've gone through things that many of us will probably never go through. But it's because of it that you are a very valuable asset to many of us and a lot of us, because if you overcame all those obstacles and are where you're at nowadays and helping out people and reaching out and allowing yourself to be pretty much a tool for many, says a lot about you.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see, hold up. I think Jenny wants me to say something that she wrote earlier. Hold on, I'm looking. Maybe it's something that I already said, but okay. So Jenny says she has worked so hard to get to where she is. Love her. Strongest woman I have ever known. She never gives up. She honestly has made me a better daughter, mom, friend, and person. And she sends her love to you. And that's Jenny T. Jen.
Love you.
Let's see. I'm trying to make sure I don't skip no questions or comments that Julie always gives back, and that's also Jenny saying that. Yeah. All right, guys. 3 more minutes. I'm gonna give you guys 3 more minutes if you have any questions, because I want to make sure. I want to make sure that no stone is left unturned, and I want to make sure that everybody has their doubts clarified, questions answered. I don't want this to afterwards, like in the comment area, 1,000 questions that we didn't cover or whatever. And I really want to make sure that we cover all the bases possible, because when you have someone like this who has a lot to say and a lot of advice to give, I want to make sure that we take advantage of that in a good way. Obviously, like make sure we can help everybody out. Jackie says, tell her the whole PB Mass family is so proud of her and we love her.
I love you guys too.
And Apple Crow says we love you as well.
I love you too, Apple Crow.
And then Larb's mom says Julie gives back to others so much. She has totally changed her life.
Thanks.
And I, this video, I know for you, is gonna serve as something that you can go back to and watch and see people react and talk life into your life because of what you've already accomplished. So it's kind of like a year from now or months from now, if you're, God forbid, but if you're like feeling low or sad or whatever at some point, you can always come back to this video and see all these comments that people are writing to you and use that as like, like a fuel to keep moving forward. Let's see. Oh, Larb's mom says it's Beth. So.
Oh, hi Beth.
And then Yankee says she never stops working. Look at her multitasking. And Beth says always here for you.
You did? You saw it on the do-it-yourself video?
And Jackie says, I'm so surprised she has sat as long as she has. Good job.
Anybody who knows me knows that is not my thing. I don't sit very well.
That lets us in on another side that you have, I guess. You're a very hyperactive, or very active person, to not put it in like the negative light. um, but yeah, it is 1 p.m. And if there's no more questions or any comments that you guys want me to let her know, Mrs. PP Man says, if that ain't the truth, talking about that you can never sit. So she says, if that ain't the truth, and she starts laughing. But I'm gonna
Thanks, Edgelmati.
I'm gonna let Julie
I love her.
some last words to everybody who's been on here, and for people who are gonna watch this video after it's posted. Julie, I'm gonna give you the last words, and then I'm gonna close everything out formally. Go ahead, say what you gotta say. If there's anything else you want to say.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for being there for me, especially today. But just in general, just being there for me. Everybody's been super supportive and giving me encouragement and actual strength to come in here and talk about my story, you know. I have been so nervous about it. And this morning, I was literally saying in chat, I'm like, my hands are shaking and my heart is pounding right now. I was like, it was, you know, it needed to be done. I needed to do it for me, for, you know, for my family. So, I thank all of you for sitting by and listening to my random ass chatter.
No. And what I've found throughout the years, because at church, I used to like preach a lot, I used to sing a lot, I used to, hold conferences here and there. And I noticed that when it was a topic that needed to be like heavily addressed and talked about, my heart would pound the fastest. And
yes,
be because of that, because it's a topic that has to be talked about, and
yep.
whether it be taboo or difficult to talk about or whatever, it was something that had to be said. And so I guess that was what was happening with you earlier. But we're all proud of you for, even taking the time to say, I want to talk about, like my background, my past, where I come from, what I have, the fire that I've walked through to get to where I'm at nowadays. And we're all proud of you. We all love you for it. We got mad love for you, like in general, for what you do every day. And yeah, I mean, at some point, I know I will have you back on here for other reasons, for even better reasons. But I thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you, to get to know you a lot better on a deeper level. Because now, now I know, and now a lot of us know where you come from, and to respect you a little more. But yeah, I'm gonna let you go because I know you gotta take care of the children and all that good stuff. But I do thank you from the bottom of my heart, as everybody here, that you came on here and said what you needed to say, and were strong about it and you were brave about it. And I know it wasn't easy because at the early stages, you kind of you're like pushing through something that it was hard to say. And that's where I had to like come in and say, all right, I'm gonna let you take a breather, and I'm gonna like just so you can kind of like breathe or whatever. But with all that, what I'm saying, it's been an hour now, and so that means that you pushed through all the way. So we thank you for it. I thank you for it.
Thank you for making it easy.
I mean, I always, you know how I am. I try to always make it comfortable for anybody and everybody who's on here. And so I want to make sure that you're comfortable to the point where you feel like you're just talking to an old friend that you've known for many, many years,
Yes, absolutely. And it works that way.
But yeah, Julie, I'm going to let you go. You have a blessed day. I'll be praying for your kids, as always. and keep us updated. I know you use a lot of Instagram and you're always on the streams on YouTube. So just keep us updated on whatever you want us to know about, whether it be your life or in general. Let us know, all right?
All right. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye, Julie. All right, so I know I forgot to do something yesterday, or not yesterday, on the last interview with Predator Poachers Southeast Texas, and I will be doing that today because I hate to skip that. But before I do, I really do enjoy listening to people's backstories because it gives you a different perspective on a person altogether. It kind of allows you to like not only get to know them a little better, but like have a higher respect. So I mean, Julie, we all know she's a great woman, and now we know why in a way. So it was good having her on, and I'm glad that she was able to push through and say what she needed to say. She was a great guest. Thank you guys for being respectful. Thank you for, which I didn't really say all the rules and regulations as I usually do, but I do appreciate that you guys pretty much followed with the rules and regulations that I usually ask for on these streams and interviews. But yeah, so I'm gonna shout out everybody who's been on here from the beginning up until now, and I thank all those you who are gonna watch this afterwards after it's posted. But yeah, so let's start it off. We got Jackie Jonette, we got Don Diva RN, we got Apple Crow, we got Jenny T Jen, we got Becca Lynn, we got Mrs. PP Mass, we got FM from NYQ Spotlight, Burns X. She knows that I can never pronounce that full name, but I always say X. Bill Powell. I didn't even know Bill Powell was in here, man. We were just talking about you the other day. Bill Powell's in the house. Christopher LaRoche, Donna Eaton. Who else? Come on, who else? Philly Girl, which I didn't even read this earlier, but she said, "What's wrong with your legs, JDQ? Your girl loves them legs, I'm sure." I've always had, no matter how hard I train my legs and lift heavy with my legs, they can be strong because I used to hang on the rim on a basketball court, but they always look like thin, to not say skinny. So I've always had that little, there's a word for it, but I guess complex. I don't know. Anyways, who else? Larb's mom, which is Beth. Who else? I know I saw another person in here. Come on. Who else? Think that's everybody. Okay, the realist poacher is also in here. All right, so that is everybody. Appleby, of course. Yeah. Hey guys, real quick before I forget, now that I see his name, Appleby is one of, if not the most resourceful person I know when it comes to diving into information that has to do with these topics, sexual abuse, child trafficking, anything to do with that kind of topic. He's like the go-to person if you want to read more about, that kind of topic and get more in depth about it. This is PP Matt says, "You made me teary-eyed, Julie." But yeah, so yeah, Appleby is the guy to go to. I'm sorry, I'm over here like hungry now, and I get a little tongue-tied when I get hungry. But anyways, I think Appleby dropped the Discord link earlier. If he didn't and can drop the link again, I'll appreciate it, and I know everybody else will. Obviously, if there's anything else that Appleby wants to share before I close this stream out, go ahead and do it, bro. Don Diva says, this is okay. Let's put this up. This is interesting. So Don Diva RN says, this is my first time here today, and I just wanted to say thank you, JDQ. I will be back for sure. It was an epic first time. Thank you so much, Don Diva. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, and I'm not just saying that. It really does mean a lot to me, because when I do these interviews, I really do hope that it like reaches out to the people who need to hear it, and hopefully it's of help for those who do need to hear it, and even those who don't might know somebody who do need to hear this information. So, you know, that's the whole goal, is to have people come on here, tell the story, and help lift somebody else up, you know, encourage them, motivate them, because if they could get through things, or they have gone through things and became better persons for it, that can be a huge motivational catapult for anybody else to say, well, dang, if they could do it, then, you know, what's holding me back? So for sure, I appreciate that. Yeah, Philly Girl says, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Yes, please, please, please do. It helps me out a lot. Continue doing these interviews. I have another one on the 27th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the 27th is going to be, oh my goodness, I forget the name, but let's see, because I'm not going to say it and then not say the name. It's because it's been a minute, so just give me 1 second. So we got an interview on the 27th with Rescue the Children from Georgia. All right, it's a group, it's a team that pretty much deals with children and people who have been trafficked, obviously for sexual reasons, and other topics that go with that hand in hand, and pretty much look for ways to help those people or children who have come out of that situation and give them a better life. So that's going to be a good one. All right, don't miss it. It's going to be on the 27th, I believe, at 7 p.m. Let's see. Oh, NJ's in the house. What's going on, man? Let's see. Yeah, we have. All right. So, oh yeah, Jackie. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a really good one. Really good one. I mean, every interview that I do on here is a great one, but that one in particular, because of the way it was formed, is very interesting. And so, I mean, I cannot wait to have him on here. So, you guys have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you, every single one of you, for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'm not going to take more of your time. Y'all have a blessed one. All right. Please, 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 if this was of benefit to you or somebody else you know, go ahead, share this with them. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel out. It helps me, kind of like motivates me to put out more content more frequently, because y'all know I've been slacking around that area. But I do try to put out quality content when I do come on here. So this was good quality content right here. I do believe so myself. And y'all have a blessed one. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. God bless you. Love every single one of you. All right, the supporters and haters alike. Doesn't matter who it is. And I will see you all the next time. All right. So peace and love. I know it sounds weird, but you know, it's an old school saying, I guess. Love you guys. Peace out. All right.